This is already an exciting day, even though it's still morning. So WIP is another corporate member of the Serbian HR community, and let's hear their story in the next keynote. Having graduated in the marketing and finance from the University of Vienna in 1995, Dejan Turk joined McDonald's Slovenia as a restaurant manager and has left the company as the executive director of the restaurant chain in Slovenia and Croatia. He joined A1 Telekom Austria Group in August 2004, where he took over marketing and sales manager role at C-Mobile Slovenia. 2 years later, he was named member of the board of directors, and from March 2007 until February 2014, he was the president of the board of directors at C-Mobile. He joined VIP Mobile in 2014 as CEO. 1 year later, he takes on the role of director, CEO, CMO of the new organizational unit Serbia and Slovenia within A1 Telekom Austria Group. He holds the function of a general director, CEO of VIP Mobile and C-Mobile, now A1 Slovenia, companies since July 1st, 2015. At the end of 2018, the Serbian Association of Managers awarded him a prestigious Manager of the Year award. Welcome, Dejan.
Yes, hello. Very nice to see you. I'm very happy that I'm in Slovenia today after a month and a half. So you see the A1 logo behind me. And it feels like, meeting a girlfriend after a long, long time.
Great. Nice to see you again. Love your t-shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Looking forward to the presentation and the questions afterwards.
Okay, so it's my turn if I understand. So I hope you see me. I hope you hear me. All the best from Slovenia to Belgrade or wherever you're following me. More or less, I understand you're expecting a little bit, and I was not preparing any slides. I just wanted to give you a couple of my impressions on the topic. Okay, what does a CEO expect basically from HR in these very different and probably challenging times? And I understand also times have never been easy. I think we always had some challenges, whether competitive challenges, business plan challenges. And now we have these kind of health challenge, which has become a major economic challenge, bringing down economies and impacting, our lives. And of course, impacting our mindsets and impacting the way we think, the way we work, fears we have, issues we have, and all of that. And of course, here, the role of HR has probably become a little bit different, but I would say still the same, So when I think about HR and what it is, has been always for me, and I think all of us know, it's about leadership. And I would just like to give you a couple of things, I think what leadership is, and probably, there are hundreds of different theories, but, I'm pretty precise, what it is. And I built my career, more or less through basically learning from great leaders and, trying to lead my people in a very, I would say, probably different way as maybe other organizations do. And I believe, that has created, some kind of energy within, the organization, which is unique and which has, kind of given us a competitive edge at the end. So I think it's about, leadership for me, it's an art. It's an art of basically getting someone of your people to do something, you want because he really wants to do it. And that's basically about motivation. It's about fire in the eyes. It's about, translating some kind, the vision into some form of reality. And of course, it's all about, unlocking people and their potential, finding the people, unlocking their potential, giving them the opportunity to really, really become better. And, the most important thing, it's about leadership, I believe, is really leading from the heart. And all of that, thinks of, how to basically be more connected to the people, more sincere, more authentic and all of that. But, you cannot somehow smuggle that, you cannot corporate bullshit that, people feel it immediately. And once you do not corporate bullshit and once you do not, kind of fake it and have these nice PowerPoint presentations, how much you care about the people, but really, really do it, then I always say, magic happens and, people somehow make miracles and, lift up, the company to, unreached heights. And I always say, that, do not try to plan and do the probable, which we always somehow do. What will be probable, and we plan for the probable and we do the probable. Think of the possible or even the impossible. And then, miracles happen in every company. But thinking about, what does the CEO expect from basically HR? And basically HR is the closest function, with me. It is the closest function, in our board of directors. It is a very important function in the leadership team. And it has always been. So, I assume myself as the first HR officer, but of course, I have a great lady, Larissa, who I also think, has given you a couple of thoughts of her, during these 2 days, who is managing both operations in Slovenia. And thank you very much, Larissa. If you're listening, I love you. You're doing a great job. So in front of all these people, I think some recognition for you. But basically, what is important here? Firstly, first point, cooperate. Cooperate, especially with the board. I hope you are a member of the board. If not, try to go into it or try to somehow be in the backstage of it, be the board, in the darkness, on Vlada Osenki, be there, and somehow have influence, on what is happening, have influence on the strategy, have influence especially on the vision for the company. Because we CEOs, we are all the way, obviously, so much engaged of results and what's happening tomorrow and, the budget and, crisis salvation and so on. So you are the ones who can really open our eyes and say, hey, things are changing, we have to change the vision. We have to change the strategy. Even you're not maybe so close to business, but you feel what is going on in the company. You hear the voices of the people, you hear the fears of the people, you hear the inputs of the people, make them alive to become a strategy. Second point, of course, build a pipeline of qualified, energized, engaged people, because that is all about the growth. If we do not have it, and if we are doing fine, if we do not have the pipeline of people with whom we are doing extraordinary fine tomorrow, it is just a short-term success. So develop leaders, engage leaders. Next thing, of course, you are as HR in a sales position. You are selling the company. You're selling the company to talent, and it has never, in my career in the last 30 years, been so hard to attract talent. Because today, we are not hiring people. The people are hiring us, or the people are choosing us, especially in the new areas, dealing with, these big data or artificial intelligence. And things where you can count 5-6 people, on your hands, which might be available in a country, and you might want to get one of these or two, or maybe all of them, but there are others, behind it. So, sell the company to these people however you can. Then it's about culture, and basically you are the gatekeeper of the culture. Reinforce this culture, reinforce ingenuity over these one-size-fits-all metrics, which so many companies have. Reinforce what the company is really special of. Reinforce that we as VIP are druga priča. Reinforce that what we are all doing with our people, for our people, to create this unique working kind of experience where really then magic happens. Then, and this is probably the most important point, teach the employees and work with them, starting with me as the CEO, to always tell the truth. Because, you know better how often, we're trying to somehow downplay things or somehow present it differently, or find these numbers and the graphs who would still show a success story despite we are really doing well. So please work with them like a mother at home. The ones who are mothers and fathers, how often when you catch your kid telling a small lie, hey, tell the truth, tell the truth, and start with me. So next thing, we always in this world, working between a break and fix model. Okay, we somehow work and we somehow somewhere mess up, and then we somehow fix it, and then we are proud of fixing it, and we've done kind of a good job. But let's build an organization where this kind of work is not that necessary. It will always be to a certain extent, but once you have this breaking and fixing mode on and off all the time, it really generates stress, and people do not like to work in such an environment. Next one is about, I would say, HR and bureaucracy. We know all of these processes and which are there. Please, think of it, to do just enough HR processes, and bureaucracy to somehow meet the company's regulatory compliance need and, all of that. But not that much that people are paralyzed, infantilized, be simple, be user-friendly, just and try to do whatever you can, in a digital way, because today, much of the things we've done via, bureaucratic, kind of paperwork is now really, really possible to do it really digitally. Next one is about knowledge, and that's, the big thing for the future. It has always been, and always knowledge has been important. But here today, as things are changing so fast, please, take care that the organization is really exposed to knowledge of the future, and that basically we really, really, know what the skills are and what the knowledge is, and make this knowledge available. And also here, there are great digital platforms. We in VIP have a platform where basically everybody can learn anything. So, if you would be a network specialist, working on I don't know, 3G and 4G and possibly 5G, and if you would like to change, and work in marketing, you can get all this knowledge online, and within a year, you can apply for a position and somehow move your skills, to that way by self-learning. Of course, today, very important, learning is not anymore pushed by the company to you, but you have to find it and seek it and do it yourself. And then the company gets aware of it and notices you and will somehow use the knowledge the employees have acquired. Then about communication, my predecessor, as I managed to listen a little bit, has all the time talked about how important it is to communicate. So ask team members every day, for input on their business activities, their careers, their life, do not do this, once a year sterile employee engagement survey. It's okay to have some kind of feeling, but you are, at the heart, you are, somehow feeling the heartbeat of the people. And, once we hear it, once a year when we ask our employee, it might be too late. He has already made his decision. He maybe left the company. He's thinking about leaving the company. Be there immediately when you send something. Very important, customer experience, for sure in VIP and A1, I live it, I talk about it, I'm the first customer service officer, also create within HR the first that you show really what exceptional customer experience is like. Do not have closed door, be open to the people, smile to them, think of them, have some chocolates, lying around, have a coffee with them, really give them this warmth, of a feeling that they are your customers and you're here to serve them, not just, to somehow calculate their salary and, eventually promote them or fire them. So here, it's, when I think of everything which is important, it's again about this magical word trust, which is the glue for any relationship, whether private or personal or business or whatever. So here, please replace any fear you might sense in the organization, replace it with trust, Do not let, the trust is destroyed in any part of the organization. You are the keeper, where really you can take care that, trust is really there and not destroyed. So, that's a couple of, I think, inputs I ask from HR every day. I hope, some of them was useful or new or said differently. But here it's now time, to go ahead, to really move ahead and, to define again, what is the business, what are the priorities. So here it's again, I think it's about growth. And when I do my business plan now, I never, and, it sounds strange to me, never had that much growth experience from the owners as this year. Even though it's a year of crisis, it's a year of extreme difficulty, and next year is not going to be much easier. But still, the growth of the business is important, and it is hard. If you work in telco, it might be a little bit easier since we come to the heartbeat of the issues now. If you work in a hotel, it might be much more difficult. But here, any business has to somehow grow. But it is again also about optimizing costs, and you will be asked in the future, by your CEOs, we have to decrease costs, we have to make some tough decisions, we have to decrease people. So it will be a little bit of our reality probably moving forward. But for that, please execute on the business transformation. We need to become more efficient. We need to come to the situation to somehow do double the job with half the people. That's something I've been starting to ask my HR already last year. So do the job, double the job with half the people. That's the ultimate goal. And, we are moving towards this. And that's, the final destination. It's just a time question how quickly, we will be there. So it is about improvement and about operational excellence. What to keep, going forward in these challenging and somehow new times? Empathy has always been important, but, keep it, enforce it. Communication, frequent, transparent communication. Trust, I mentioned it before. Well-being about the employees and health concerns. Resilience, all of that agility we've been talking about, but it has to come alive. Some new ways of work, we will not probably, even when things become hopefully very soon normal again, but we learned a lot, and we learned how it is not important every day to sit in the office. In VIP, we're thinking already and developing a probably 3-day office, 2-day at home concept, which will become regular. We will probably decrease our office space and somehow adapt our office space to the new kind of requirements. So when we talk about leadership again, it's about empathy and servant leadership. We are here to serve, and we are here to help and support. It's still about, in this difficult time, generating the fire in the eyes, the growth mindset. It's about the employee experience, what kind of experience do they really have, and how they recommend us, as a great place to work. And then it's about these new things, about data-driven decision-making. Much more decisions will not come from our stomach, it will come from the huge data bundles we have. It's about designs of our organization. How will we design organization? How will we decrease, management layers? How will we become more effective? And it's all about change, and change will not be the change we will restructure and that's it for a couple of years. It will be ongoing, every day, every month, every year change. And that will create a lot of stress organization. And it's your job to smartly manage that. It's about process automatization, think of it, today with robotics and AI and so on, what processes which are really somehow automated, what all can you automate, in order to be more efficient. And finally, it's all about skills, it's all about your job to find the best people for the job, about identifying, future skills, reskilling and upskilling, people we have, and basically deploying these skills for the benefit of the whole organization. So I think HR is ready. I listened a little bit to some of the presentations, and I like them very much because they are very, very futuristic, and many of you have these mindset moving to the future. So please understand how the company succeeds. Embrace and do not fight, technology and analytics. It might sound so much technology, analytics, and all these charts, but somehow talk to your IT guys, talk to your big data guys, how they can really help you, what are your issues, and you will see how easy it is in this world to manage them. Focus on digital employee experience, I would say. Do not digitalize everything and make it complicated. When you digitalize, think of the experience, make it easier, make it simpler, make it simpler for you and make it simpler for the employee. Invest, again, in the right skills and competencies, and really think of the organizational design. How can we move away from, and there is no ideal design you can move in. You can talk to your peers, you can talk to other companies, everybody is playing now and experiencing things. It might be, not everything might be the right thing to do. We have some pretty dramatical steps, we are thinking of at the moment, and I have difficulties convincing, my leadership team. Half of them would support it, half of them are skeptical of, doing this maybe very much out of the box things, because they propose a risk, but please, do not be afraid of going into risk, because if you want to be successful doing business like we did before, it's a short-term game. Taking risks might, create a problem, but it also might lift you up. So please, don't be afraid, be somehow riskful, and help your CEOs, move your organization, in the right way in these very challenging times. And I always say, the best is yet to come.